Hi, today I am going to show you how to make tidoys. That's what we call them. It's a Chinese fried dumpling, kind of like what you get at dim sum. And I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm totally like a whitewashed Asian, but this is something that we always made with my grandma growing up. And I'm especially making this video because I want my girls, Indigo and Phoenix, to know how to make these. When my grandma passed away, um, I had no idea. Luckily, my aunt had written it down, but trying to figure it out was difficult. And luckily, my mom is still around, so she's kind of walked us through it. But you need glutinous rice flour, and you're going to make a mountain of it, kind of like a volcano, and put a dip in the top and start pouring hot water in. So I have one of those hot water machines, and so I kind of just use that, but you could totally boil water and use that. So you want to be really careful not to burn yourself when you are doing this. I like using these long chopsticks. It reminds me of my grandma, and that's what she always did. So we kind of use the chopsticks to start mixing it up. And then as it's cooler, you can use your hands to mix it in. You also want to add in potatoes. And so I had these cooked. I threw them in the Instant Pot, the pressure cooker. And I cooked those the day before just because it's easier. But you're going to have these and mash them in there. So I just use my hands and I just keep adding water, and there's not like an exact amount. After you put that whole bag of rice flour, you're going to just start adding water a little at a time and mixing it up. Another thing I should mention is the filling for these. I also make the filling the night before because you want it to be completely cool. And the filling is like pork and water chestnuts and carrots, celery, things like that. And all of this is in the recipe that I have written down. So I'll put the link to that down below. But I just wanted to make this video so you could have a visual representation of how to do this. So there are my girls. They're 6 and 9. So if you guys are watching this, I hope you do one day, maybe when I'm gone, and you'll know how to make these. And I love you guys so much. This is so much fun. Everyone's hands are in it. We're just mixing and adding water a little bit at a time. Um, it's a very long process, and I'm sure this would be faster if you threw it in your mixer. I kind of thought about trying it, but this is just the way that my grandma did it, and this is the way that we do it. So I just keep mixing, and you can see it's still falling apart. So you're going to keep adding water until we get a dough consistency. And so we're adding and mixing and kneading, and you'll see that it starts to come together, and you want to just keep adding water until it kind of stops falling apart. So see, it's still a little bit falling apart. You're going to keep going. At this point, you're getting a little tired. There it goes. It's starting to come together. So we're going to keep mixing it and kneading it. And it just needed a tiny bit more water. So we add that. Now you're going to roll it out into a log. And you know, my grandmother never measured when she made the little balls to make these, but I do just because I'm really terrible at eyeballing things. So we make them around 36 grams. I happen to have a scale, so it's really easy for me to do that and it helps me out, but not necessary. So there's the girls like to roll it out. This is such a fun thing to do with your kids. It really takes a while. There's that filling. So once you have those dough balls, you're going to flatten them out and then put a scoop, maybe a tablespoon, in the middle of the dough ball. And then you're going to pinch up the sides. So you put the scoop in the middle and then pinch up the sides so it's closed up. And then we're going to fry them. So here we are, we're making those, and you want to make sure that the sides are sealed because otherwise the stuff will come out into your oil, or the filling will, and you don't want that. So, oh, I should also mention you can add sesame seeds. So we like to take that dough ball and dip it in the sesame seeds first before we start to, roll it out into a flat disc. And so this is the fun part. The kids really like to do this. Sometimes they get frustrated because it's kind of difficult, and there might be holes in some of them. So we'll patch them up with little pieces of dough. And again, there's a link to the recipe. So if you just go there, I think it'll be helpful to kind of break down exactly the amounts, and I wrote it all out for you. If you try this, I would love to hear how it went for you. Um, this is my grandma's special recipe. Oh, there's the dough ball, and we dip it in the sesame seeds, as you can see, and then we kind of press it out. I probably should have showed you that first, but just so you can see how it goes. We like an ice cream scoop because when you squeeze it, it kind of like pushes that filling out. This is one of my favorite memories with my grandma. I remember being at her house in LA, and me and my cousins would all be sitting around the table, just making titoys and then eating them. There's also a sweet version that has red bean paste in it, and I will post a video about how to do those next. But here's what they look like when they're not cooked. And you're going to throw these a few at a time into the oil. So you want to have the oil at 350 degrees. Again, my grandmother did not have a thermometer and she could just eyeball it. We had a lot of trouble doing that. So we have to use a thermometer, and we make sure the oil's at 350 degrees. We're using peanut oil. If I was rich, I would be using tallow. But you want them to be that golden brown color, and then scoop them out onto a cooling rack, or sometimes we just put them on top of paper towels. They are so delicious. Seriously, if you guys try this, please let me know in the comments because I want to hear about it. Thank you for watching.